Hello, how are you guys? Today we are going to learn how to correctly attach our waistband so that the finish looks like this. We will start by attaching the loops, measuring the circumference of the waist, sealing our waistband. We will also learn how to properly attach and cover our waistband. Lastly, I will teach you how to correctly seal the loops so that the finish looks like this. Remember, Yada, this video is specially made for beginners. And if you know how to sew and didn't know these steps, it is also for you. Having said that, let's begin. Before attaching the waistband to the pants, bisa requirement to learn how to attach the loops. The loop should be added before attaching the waistband. First, we are going to refine the waist of the pants. When refining, we should lower our zipper. This will help us avoid cutting too much if the zipper is too long. On this occasion, I am using a longer zipper than usual. Generally, a zipper is purchased in the right size so that we don't cut the stopper. And if you're wondering which lock I'm talking about, the lock can be found on the bottom and top of our zipper. Once the waist is adjusted, we will mark where we will attach the loops. To mark, we will measure from the center of the waist to the side. Where the seam is, we measure, we have 18, its half would be 9 centimeters. We have 18 centimeters, half would be 9 centimeters. The same on the other side. We measure and mark its half. We are going to attach the eyelets in this way, with their entire length facing downward. Once the flat bar is attached, we move everything upward. When we sew the loops on the edge of the waistband, we are going to sew at a width of 5 millimeters, which would be 5 millimeters, or the width of our presser foot. Well, we already know how to mark on the front part. Now we are going to learn how to mark for the loop that goes on the side. We are going to mark from the center of the seam towards the back, 3 centimeters on one side and also on the other side. From the center of the seam towards the back, 3 centimeters. We are going to make these tags on one side and the other because it will help us place our pins at the same width, both the right side and the left side. And at the back, we will place one in the center, or we could also place two like this. Well, now let's go to the machine. To attach the pins, we must always check which side the seam is not visible. The side where the seam is not visible will go downwards and off the edge of the waistband. We will sew 5 millimeters or the width of our presser foot. To do this work, we will need an offset foot or a flat foot. If you are not familiar with these feet, here we have the offset foot and here the flat foot. We are going to sew these two pieces. In this way, we will do all the work the same. The work should look like this. The flat foot can also be found in this version known as the Teflon flat foot. Remember to place the pins only where we marked. And remember not to zip up at all. If while trimming we cut the stopper, do not zip up at all because it will damage the pants and you will have to replace the zipper. When we've already attached the belt loops, the pants will look like this on the front and like this on the back. Look at how we have placed the belt loops. Now we are going to attach the waistband. Before attaching the waistband to the pants, we are going to measure the waist of the pants. When we measure, we should also measure with the overlap of the fly to then transfer that measurement to the waistband. To measure the waist, we will do it this way. From the overlap or from the fly as we can call it,
we will measure slowly the entire circumference of our waist. If you don't understand circumference, the circumference is the entire outline. Let's try to ensure that the fabric does not stretch at all. We adjust it well, and we measure from the crossover of the fly, also known as the apron, up to the figurative point where we have the pocket. The measurement we get will be transferred to the waistband to then cut it to the size of the pants. But first, we must break down the measurement we get into two equal parts plus a seam allowance. We need to transfer this waist to the waistband. Let me explain how.
When we measure the waist, we measure it from the intersection, from the fly. We measure the entire circumference of the waist this way. At the end, we can see a number that gives me 85. We will break this measurement into two equal parts plus 1 for the seam. When dividing into two equal parts, it gives me 42.5 plus 1, 43.5. To apply this measurement, we will place it from the center towards the side. On the lower part of the waistband, we will place the measurement of 43.5 from the center towards the side. We mark 43.5 and we cut on the marking. When cutting, we should cut slightly diagonally. Now we are going to learn how to find the center of the waistband. Why? Because the pants have an overlap. The overlap measures between 3 or 4 centimeters, depending on how wide we leave the inner fly. When sewing the pants, it comes like this, with this part facing inward. So we must mark that overlap and make a notch, and from there, we can mark our center. We measure how much overlap we have. To pass it to the waistband, what does this measurement give me? We must pass it to the waistband plus 1 for the seam. So if we have 4, 4 plus 1 would be 5. To make the notch, first, we are going to see which is the front of the waistband. The front is the part that goes on top. As we see, the one without top stitching is the front, and the one with top stitching is the back, which we can see here. If you don't know how to make this pattern, I already have a video. Below I have the link on how to make the pattern, and also how to sew this waistband step by step from scratch. Now to attach the waistband, we must position it as it should go. It would be like this, over this edge, with the front up facing the front of the pants, front to front. And the back, which would be the stitching, goes on the inside. Here we can see the back of the pants, where the side of the waistband with the stitching will go, and the part without stitching would go like this, front with front. Now we are going to learn how to seal our waistband. To seal, remember that we need to mark from this edge inward the width we have here. This width plus 1. The width is a 4 centimeters. 4 plus 1, 5. We mark where we have 5 centimeters with our notch. Once the notch is made, we can find our center.
We join the other edge of the waistband with the notch. We join to then remove the center of the waistband. Where it folds, that's where I will mark another notch. That will be my center. Remember to go over all these steps, guys. If you want the finish to turn out just right. The center of the notch would go with this center of the back seam. Before attaching it, we must check that all the measurements we've taken are correct. From the center to the edges to the corners. Look, there we have the centimeter seam. Let's check the other side. Remember, these steps are for beginners. If you have experience, you will do it directly. But remember, this video is for beginners. In case someone with experience says these steps are very slow, because it has happened with other videos. Remember, This edge is what you will seal to then
stick and cover.
I have already made this video before. I did it almost 4 or 5 years ago. Here we can see the theory. Here we can see the video from some time ago, as I am currently updating the video with better quality. I hope you like this video just as much as you liked the previous video I made some time ago. So guys, once we have the waistband marked, let's go to the machine to seal it. I will explain how to seal correctly so that there are no points or flaps on the waistband. Okay, so we're going to go step by step. If you don't want to watch this video with ads, remember that we have memberships without ads. We will soon be launching the PDFs there. Now guys, let's go to the machine to seal these edges. Okay, to seal we must fold exactly over the top stitch and sew like this. Te ven donde es en the other side. We fold over the edge where we have the stitching, fold and seal. Let's do it on the machine. We are going to seal this way. Watch how we're going to do it. We fold everything inward, breaking our seam, making a break on the seam. We place the edge downwards. Remember not to send that edge upwards. We sew 1 centimeter wide. Or we align well and sew. Remember to backstitch at the beginning and end. Now we're going to turn the waistband. For this, we're going to insert the index finger and then push this edge inward, like this. To bring out the tip, we use scissors or an awl, or if you have a thimble with a point, you can use that too, so that the finished result looks like this. We repeat the same procedure on the other side. Remember to always start with a backstitch. Sew at 1 centimeter and finish with a backstitch. In the same way, we're going to turn it around. To check how it turns out, the final finish should be like this, on both sides. Now let's learn how to attach our waistband. To attach the waistband, we will always choose the side without interfacing. In this seam, we will choose the one with the top stitching, wrong side to wrong side. To attach the waistband, we will always leave it a few millimeters inside, like this. We can see it like this, almost at the edge of the stitching we have, which would be 1 or 2 millimeters further in. Never let it stay outside, because this will cause it to end up with bits sticking out. We place our band a few millimeters further in. To start, we raise the presser foot, align it well, and start. The seam width will be 1 centimeter. When we sew, we must ensure that the seam is at a single width. It cannot come out. Neither wider nor narrower than our seam allowance centimeters, because if not, it will affect when we are covering.
Explosions and gunfire.
We must align both layers, both the waistband and the layer of the pants. We must keep aligning the layers. Remember, both layers in this way. There. Another thing is that when we sew, we must know that the darts always go towards the side. We send these darts that we have here, we can see them, towards the seam, towards where we have the side. Sew at 1 centimeter. Remember, do not sew more or less than 1 centimeter. We align it like this. Look, we send the loops inward. We sew everything slowly, step by step.
Record.
Remember the clips towards the side seam. This time, it would be towards my forehead. The previous ones were in the opposite direction. The side seams should always be directed towards the back. And just as we started, we must finish exactly the same. The edge of the waistband should be a few millimeters further in, right?
The pants should always be a few millimeters out and the waistband a few millimeters in. Remember that it's very important. This applies to collars, cuffs, waistbands, and anything similar. Likewise, we will finish as we started. When attaching the waistband, we don't backstitch. Stitch length number 5. Remember that too. When attaching the waistband, we must not backstitch, reverse. Stitch length number 5. Look,
And
and our
so
waistband is now finished. Now we are going to learn how to cover the waistband. To cover it, we will do it in 3 steps. We will start from the side towards the zipper. Remember, from this part, from this side towards the center of our pants. We start from this side, then the other side towards this side. So you can see clearly, it's where we have the fly, what we know as the apron, or in my classes, as piece number 2, we will start in 3 steps because this is for beginners. Look, the edge of the previous seam, we must respect that same edge to fold. We fold 1 centimeter inward, which was the previous seam we made in this way. We must also leave the previous seam as a reference, leaving it visible by 1 millimeter. We lower our needle and sew. We are going to do this stitching with a compensating foot. Remember, it's very important, a compensating foot or guide foot to cover the waistband because we are going to work on the edge of the waistband, folding 1 centimeter inward and sewing along the edge. The compensated foot is important. Remember, a compensated foot, I have previously shown it here. On this side, I have it here so you can buy it. And if you have it, you can use it. Remember that this foot will help keep the seam from falling apart. It is a foot that helps us make decorative stitches at a single width. In this way, we are going to sew our waistband step by step, like this, folding 1 centimeter inward and sewing. Here, we help ourselves well with the index finger, or we can use anything to tuck the tip of the waistband inside. There, look how I'm sewing, super soft, slowly. If you are beginners, sew them the same way I am doing it. If you are a professional, you can do it directly. If you are a beginner, you can help yourself with the tip of a punch or a small flat screwdriver. Look how it turns out. Our top stitch. Now we are going to sew the other side from this edge to the other edge. We start the same way. We fold 1 centimeter inward. As a reference, we use the previous seam and we start right on the loop so that it doesn't show that we have splices, that we have seam joints. We start there so that the waistband attachment doesn't look messy, that it looks clean with a perfect finish. We fold well, send 1 centimeter inward without backstitching because here the stitch will go one on top of the other when joined. We fold it this way. Notice how easy it is, okay? Another thing is that when we sew, we should stretch the bottom part a bit so that there isn't much excess from either the waistband or the bottom part of the pants. This way, notice how we will be adjusting it. We should show the seam 1 millimeter down, okay? Look like this. And we do like this. This is how we will do all the work. And notice how I also stretch the waistband down a bit. We leave a millimeter showing so that on the other side, it looks like this. Look, it's like a mirror seam. The same width we leave on top will also be at the bottom. The work is super simple. If you follow these steps I am teaching you now, you will have impeccable work whose value will increase from now on. So guys, supporting me, give a like, share, comment, share so more people can see. This video helps me get more views. If you want to watch my videos without ads, since ads appear every 2 or 3 minutes, you can also see them along with exclusive content with a membership for $5.49. with new updated videos. We are uploading videos every 15 days in our exclusive membership videos. Here we are going to stretch slowly this way to help us uh, to avoid having leaks there. Look, if we can see, we finish over the barrette too to keep the waistband clean. Look how it's turning out. What do you think? Share your thoughts on the finish. The deco. Look at the edge of the seam we've done with the top stitching. It fine with a compensating foot. Remember, to make it like this, you need a compensating foot. We are going to finish now with the third tempo. For that look, we are going to send everything with force. First, we fold the centimeter here and push firmly. The tip right there, this way we are going to cover this corner. Make sure there are no pieces left over. Remember, if there are pieces left, we cannot sew. If you attach the waistband incorrectly, there will be pieces left over. It cannot be like that because that makes devaluing your work makes people not want to pay what you ask. But if you deliver a waistband with a perfect finish, stitching the waistband a few millimeters further in, it will turn out you with this finish. We lift our pressure foot, insert the waistband to cover the last step remaining. Remember, the work we are going to do now is the same as we have been doing it step by step. Remember, sew by slightly stretching the bottom part and using the seam we have here as a reference. 1 millimeter down. There, look, says, make we stretch the bottom part of the pants a little. We don't stretch the waistband, just the bottom part. It's a slight stretch, not with force either. We position it well and sew. Eh, Always, when you do this work, try to stack the seam on top of each other when you finish. That will help your work look cleaner, of better quality. And this is how it turns out. Look, check it out. Not bad, not bad. I hope this video is very helpful to you, that it is valuable to you who are watching me, and I hope you share it so that more people can learn this technique that I use when I do a production with coated buttons. Now let's learn how to make the next seam. We'll do the seam over the belt loops, 1 foot width from the edge of the waistband down where we have the belt loops. We seal below and then send the pin upward to seal as well. First below and then above. We are going to do quality work on our loops, hiding the seam so that the value of our garment goes up. We will repeat these steps on all the loops. First, sew down and then send it up to make an internal seam. To seal the loops, we will sew at a foot width, taking into account the edge of our waistband because we will sew the waistband edge down at a foot width. This procedure, this work, we are going to perform in the same way on all the pins. Once we are done sealing the pins at the bottom, we will proceed with the next sealing, which will be the hidden seam. For this, we are going to leave a little cap here and fold like this. Look at how we leave it like this. We fold the pin upwards, leave a little cap, send it all the way up, and we will now sew along the edge of the waistband on the top part over the pin. This is how we will do it. And it's sealed like this, with the seam not showing. It doesn't show below, nor does it show above. We repeat the process on the others. Look, like this. Remember to leave a bit of slack below and fold like this. When we have it folded, guys, look. We will hold the bottom part of the pin and push the top like this to give us a bit of space to make our sewing this way.
We bring the camera closer so you can see how the work is really done. Look, like this. Super simple, super easy. Move everything up to make some space and look closely at how it turns out. It's quality work. We cut off the excess internally. We leave a minimal edge, 1 centimeter or half a centimeter. We remove thoroughly. Practice these steps at home so your garments turn out like this. And don't forget to share so more people can learn this method, these sewing steps. Give the video a like so that YouTube recommends it to more people. Don't miss the next video that's already ready for you. The next video will be about how to sew the zipper, how to attach our closure, chin type. Although I already have several videos explaining this technique, remember that I am updating the videos and continuously improving in audiovisual quality. If you've been watching me for 4 or 5 years, you can see that I've improved in image quality, audiovisual aspects, and many things.
The finish is always the same, perfect, just like that. So guys, don't forget to comment, share what you think of these finishes that I show you. So remember to comment if you didn't understand something, as I will personally be responding to your comments. And then this is how our workout looks once completed. From the attachment of the belt loops, the attachment of the waistband covering, the sealing of the loops, everything is perfect. Remember, comment, share, in the case this video. And also remember that I'm already creating exclusive content with membership, so you can watch this video without ads. You can go to a link I have below so you can support the project, which is super affordable from the exclusive videos. So guys, I am preparing new content. I say goodbye with everything. Blessings over and out.